Urgent news: Nintendo is ending sales of the Switch across Europe. Xbox is cutting 3,200 jobs in a massive strategic reset. Thousands of crypto firms are exiting the EU to avoid new licensing laws, and the United States Space Force is training satellites for orbital combat. For over a decade, the technology sector operated on the assumption that growth was frictionless. The playbook was to build massive user bases at any cost, launch borderless digital currencies, and treat space as an infinite, peaceful backyard. That era of unconstrained expansion has reached its limit. These industries, gaming, finance, and aerospace, are hitting three specific barriers at the same time. These walls of reality are now dictating who survives the next decade and which giants will be forced to retreat. Government compliance is now a primary driver of corporate strategy, seen by Nintendo discontinuing all current Switch models in Europe by early 2027. The cause is a new EU law requiring all electronics to feature user-replaceable batteries. Rather than expensive hardware redesigns for an older console, Nintendo is executing a controlled exit. They are clearing current inventory in other regions to prepare for a successor console that will be compliant from day one. The European crypto market is currently navigating the same legislative pressure. This data shows the impact of the MiCA framework. Out of 3,000 active EU crypto companies, 93% are projected to cease operations. Only 210 have secured the licenses to stay. While designed to protect investors, high compliance costs are driving startups toward offshore havens. Applying rigid, centralized laws to global technology often results in the very market fragmentation that regulators were trying to avoid. Microsoft is currently cutting 20% of its Xbox workforce in a historic organizational reset. They have hit a wall where business models that depend on heavy subsidies can no longer be sustained. The core of the problem is Game Pass. While it successfully grew a subscriber base, the model is losing an estimated $200 to $300 per user every year. Microsoft is effectively paying for its customers to play games rather than selling those games for a profit. This chart compares the profit margins of the industry leaders. While Nintendo operates at 25% and Sony at 12%, Xbox's margin has plummeted to 2.5%. To protect these margins, Microsoft is selling off studios, moving upcoming exclusives out of their ecosystem. This same economic gravity is affecting institutional finance. Strategy Inc., famous for its massive Bitcoin reserves, recently liquidated $216 million worth of the asset for the first time. After 6 years of refusing to sell, the company had to tap into its reserves to pay dividends. It's a sign that even the most committed institutions must eventually prioritize liquidity over long-term holding. The era of ignoring unit economics to chase market share is over. Basic profitability is once again the primary metric for success. The final boundary is physical. As geopolitical tensions rise, the struggle for dominance is moving into the orbit of the planet itself. The Victus Haze mission recently tested tactical satellite maneuvers, creating essentially a cat-and-mouse game in low Earth orbit. These proximity operations demonstrate that space is no longer just for research, it is being treated as an active theater for combat. Militarizing this environment risks triggering a chain reaction known as the Kessler syndrome. If a satellite is destroyed in orbit, the resulting shrapnel shatters other nearby objects, creating a cascading wave of debris. This could destroy every functioning satellite, effectively ending global communication and satellite navigation for decades. Unlike a failed business strategy, a physical catastrophe in space has permanent consequences that cannot be fixed with a corporate reset. The era of growth at any cost has transitioned into an era of survival. Future market leaders won't be the companies promising the most disruption or the most aggressive expansion. The digital world's expansion phase has hit the limits of the physical world. The map for technology is no longer built on limitless growth. It is built on navigating these barriers.